Hey, this is Jersey. You're listening to the Garden State.
You're listening to The Garden State, the only podcast that gives you all the news you need to hear this week. I'm Jimmy Parks.
I'm Josh Chomik.
And once again, back co-hosting.
Josh Sobo.
Josh Soba.
Wow.
That was weird.
I think, did Jimmy say it wrong, Josh?
Yeah, he skipped a part.
What did I skip?
You said you're listening to The Garden State, the only podcast. I think that's what you said. The only New Jersey podcast that gives you all the news you need to hear this week.
You had one thing to say, Jimmy.
But we gave him a shot, and you know what?
I didn't make it.
Always the Padawan.
He practiced all week for that.
Always the Padawan, never the Jedi.
Hey, I've only heard it for 51 weeks in a row now, so
Wow, that's a full year pretty much.
yeah.
Jimmy missed like 3 episodes, I think.
Yeah,
We were just talking
so-
about it, 3 or 4.
I think it's probably 4.
Well, welcome back, boys. Jimmy, I'm really proud of you doing the intro this week. Thank you to everybody for joining us back for another week of New Jersey news, conversation, and just straight up hijinks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Doesn't Dwight say in The Office, always the Padawan, never the Jedi?
I don't know who says that.
Someone, I'm telling you, there's an episode. Let me see.
It could be. It sounds like a Dwight line.
Let me see. Never the Jedi. I feel like that's like, yeah.
Play it.
D'Angelo! Always the Padawan, never the Jedi.
Great show. Well, hey guys, we're back for our 51st episode to talk about the news. Before we get into the news, Josh, do you want to remind the listeners what's going to be going down in February?
You mean February 25th?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so we're going to be doing the polar plunge, guys.
The Polar Plunge.
Wow.
We're plunging into the Atlantic.
Seaside Heights, New Jersey.
Yeah, we're going to be doing the Polar Plunge this year for the first time ever in Seaside Heights. If you want to join us, you can get all that info in the podcast description or in the link in any of our bios.
One of the links.
All the proceeds go to the Special Olympics. You could join our team if you're feeling really generous and you can come dive with us, or you could just make a donation. Thank you to everybody that made a donation this week. Should we give some shout outs?
Yeah, give a shout out. And like, even if you don't donate, like you should still come through the Seaside. Like, I think the address is on their website. I don't even know the address, but yeah, you can come laugh at us.
So-
say hi to us, meet us.
We got a
It'll be fun.
donation from Audrey.
Oh, thank you, Audrey.
Thank you, Audrey. I don't want to say last names, but Audrey, thank you. We got another donation over here from my boy Matt, who I think is plunging with us.
Yeah, Matt's plunging with us, dude.
Sweet.
Got another donation from Zachary. Thank you, Zachary.
Let's go.
Sydney made a donation this week. Thank you, Sydney. Rachel made another. Wow, we got a lot of Elizabeth,
Let's go.
Megan, David, and Matt. So, yeah, we got a lot of donations this week. That's awesome. So, Josh, what's actually going to be going down at this polar bear plunge situation?
Bro, I don't know if we're ready. Like, there's gonna be like thousands of people there, like
Wow.
plunging with their own teams. Like, these people probably do it every single year. They're probably ready.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, we're gonna look like complete noobs. Like, we gotta come prepared.
I've been working on my 6-pack for this day.
I have not been working on my
definitely
six-pack.
Well, I don't have one, but I'm working on it.
Well, you still have until February 25th. You have over a month to get a 6-pack. Like,
I think it's
it only takes a
possible.
few weeks, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so you're good.
So if you guys want to plunge with us, like I said, link is in the podcast description, or you can go over to our Instagram and click on that link in the bio. Like we said, all the proceeds go to the Special Olympics. So if you want to donate to a good cause, feel free to make a donation. And with that, boys, what did you guys do this weekend?
Just got back from California.
We're in California.
I was in Lake Tahoe, guys, because New Jersey's not getting any snow. So I had to go chase the snow. And Tahoe's gotten over like 300 inches of snow this season.
Jeez.
Way
Wow.
past their seasonal average already. So, guys, you're driving on these like tiny roads through the mountains.
Yep.
Just walls of snow surrounding you, like twice the height of your car. Crazy.
How many days did you ride for?
I only rode 2 days. I went Thursday, rode Friday, Saturday, came home Sunday. Nice quick trip.
Wow. Any true powder days out there, or was it pretty
Dude,
slick?
yeah, we found tons of fresh powder in the trees. Like, we didn't get a storm. The last storm was like the day before I got there, but it was
Nice.
so beautiful. Like, I miss snow.
Yeah,
I want snow, so I have to go chase it now.
but I see where you ride, and it's not even just snow. It's
It doesn't- yeah.
You're in heaven out there.
It's honestly heaven, dude.
It's so amazing how beautiful the slopes are.
That's why I tell everyone who like snowboards like on the East Coast, I was like, you have to make a West Coast trip. The mountains are like 20 times the size of the mountains over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to go
And
this year.
there's no ice. It's all natural snow. It's fresh pow. It's not like you're going to Mountain Creek and riding a sheet of ice all day. It's just like gorgeous. And it's like peaceful. So yeah, go out west.
I wanted to actually get out west. I think my phone's been broken though because I didn't get a text or a call about this trip. So we'll have to see next year. There's always next year, right?
Yeah, I'll take
still
you
this year,
Want me to
too.
take you to Verizon tomorrow? We can get the phone checked out. I got you.
Yeah, if you want, that'd be really generous if you could take me.
I mean, I'll buy you a phone or something. You've been pretty good lately.
My real gripe with your trip is you had a rental truck, Toyota Tacoma, and you were talking some trash about the Tacoma.
What did I say about it?
Really?
What did I say trash about
You
it?
said it had no traction.
What kind of tires did it have
listen,
on it?
Yeah,
listen.
that's
I
the
didn't
issue.
have. I put in for my rental car. I wanted a Dodge Ram 1500 or I wanted a Ford F-150 with snow tires because I'm driving in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get to Hertz. They offered me a car. They're like, hey, would you mind driving a car? I was like, no, I'm going to the mountains. And they're like, all right, let me see what we got. So like it took like 15 minutes. They finally pulled out a Toyota Tacoma. I love Tacomas. Josh has a Tacoma. My friends have Tacomas. They're great trucks, but this truck, there was something wrong with the traction, bro. I was sliding everywhere.
Well, you have to think that probably the back of it, there's no weight in it. So
Yeah. And there's a reason they're called Hertz.
I've never been hurt by Hertz ever.
Well, I got hurt big time by them last year.
From what happened?
Well, when the COVID stock market crashed, I went all in on Avis, and I made a lot of money because Avis was at like $11. I sold at $50, and then it went to like $300.
yeah, you sold way too early.
And then I was like, wow, I'm really making money with this whole rental car business. So I went in crazy on Hertz. Like probably
While they were up.
Yeah, well, they were down. They were in the dumps. And then like the next week they declared bankruptcy.
nice.
So yeah, I took an L on that one, but
The only reason I went with Hertz is because it was like $25 a day for a truck. So I guess that's why
amazing.
that's why I didn't get my Ram. But like
they're thirsty for your business.
But also just I wanted the Ram or the F-150 because it's a bigger truck than the
Yeah.
Tacoma.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I have nothing against a Tacoma. It's just like I've driven F-150s before. Like they're so much heavier and just like
I'm surprised that was
like
even
them.
the same like size class.
I know they offered me a car, Jimmy.
I know.
This is Hertz, bro.
Yeah, not
so
good.
I'm gonna go to Avis or something next time. But overall, it's a great trip. I didn't die. We slid, a few times, but very sketchy those roads. But
I bet.
I'm here, guys. I'm here.
that's great that
I'm
you're
with you guys. I got to snowboard some fresh pow. It was a great time.
Sounds awesome. And I'm glad you made it back. Tacoma or F-150.
Yeah,
Preferably Tacoma. But
I'm here with Jimmy and Josh. Like, what more can I ask for?
Exactly.
That's great. That's great.
In Jersey.
Jimmy, what did you do this weekend?
I didn't do anything too crazy this weekend. I continued my kick of cooking. I've been on a cooking kick for myself. I made,
I love the Jimmy updates.
I'm trying to like grow up here. So I made stuffed peppers for myself this weekend.
Nice.
I made some different types of chicken. I don't know what it's called, but chicken.
It's Milanesa, right?
What else did I make for myself? I did
Yes, Josh.
rigatoni and meatballs. That was pretty good.
Look at this guy. Hey, Josh, wait.
The air fryer really changed my life. That's all I'm saying.
Jimmy Park's more like Jimmy Dean over here,
I'm
right?
just saying my phone must be broken too because
Yeah.
I actually didn't get any text from Jimmy to come over to his house this weekend either.
I'm pretty sure that you were.
I'm pretty
away.
sure I didn't get a text.
I'm pretty sure that you were in California.
Josh,
I'm
did
pretty
you
sure
get,
that.
Josh, did you get a text?
No, because his phone was
No.
broken. We went over this.
Yeah,
already.
yeah,
my
his
phone's
phone-
broken
his
all
phone-
weekend for both you guys. Jimmy, I will say I take partial credit for your love for cooking now.
Yeah, you do.
After the air fryer incident.
Yep.
Which was 1 week. Usually the guys show up to my place right around the time when my wife and I are eating dinner. And I sold Jimmy on these sweet potato fries in the air fryer.
They look
And
delicious.
Good Lord, they come out amazing.
I love sweet potato fries. If you give me the option between regular French fries and sweet potato fries, sweet potato every time.
It's a cheat code. It's like, why are they so good?
Yeah.
It's like dessert. Well, I did nothing this weekend, guys. I'm glad you both got into some.
You had to have done one. Did you go to a coffee shop?
Yeah.
Did you go,
Yes.
What did you do?
I went to Goldberg's in
that's
Millburn for
awesome.
breakfast. Got a coffee and a bagel.
That's a vibe alone right there.
It was good. It was a good experience. And then I worked out and did like nothing all day.
Okay.
I had to run.
That's what weekends are for,
I had to
though.
like run errands. That was one of those weekends.
The weekends are for relaxing.
I just wish I had like hung out with some people or.
Well, your phone was broken. That's why you
Yeah.
didn't get to hang out with
People
them.
were trying to hang out with you. It just didn't work out.
So it was a boring weekend all around. But you know what, guys? You know what's been giving me hope? I've been getting up. I told you guys, I've been trying to get up earlier and go to the gym in the morning before work. And one of the things I've noticed is the sun is slowly creeping in.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's starting to come up.
Since December 21st, bro.
It's starting to rise a little bit earlier each day. And I love it. I love that the days are getting longer slowly.
It's the best.
And all I can think about is summer is right around the bend.
I'm thinking about that end of February snowstorm we're getting, dude. You gotta wait.
I don't know if we're gonna get one. I'm convinced no snow this year. We're going snowless. But I don't want to break your guys' hearts too much. I would love a nice snowstorm. Nice.
You're not breaking anyone's hearts. Like, we're just following the reports, Josh.
What does Mountain Creek do when I know they make snow, but like for an entire season, no snow?
Yeah, they just make snow and it's crappy.
I was gonna say if it's like 50 degrees during the day.
Yeah, it melts and turns to ice, and
Yeah,
then
it's
they
not
have
good.
to just keep throwing like new snow on top of it. It's so bad.
Well, before we get into the news today, boys, we got a little mailbag.
Heck yeah.
Got a bag full of mail.
You want to hear this caller's message for us this week?
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, you've reached the Garden State mailbag. We can't come to the phone right now because we are pumping out snow at Mountain Creek. Leave us a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Bye.
Hey Garden State, it's Amanda from Sayreville. Love the podcast. Listen to it every Monday because I work from home on Fridays, so I get to listen to it on the way to work Mondays to start my week. Listening to you guys is so super funny because it reminds me of hanging out with my friends, so good job there. And anybody who heckles at you does not know what they're talking about. So anyways,
I like her.
I'm from Sayreville, and you guys did in your last podcast a news story about the wall that was vandalized by possibly an employee there, a disgruntled employee. And I have to disagree. I feel that the wall was probably vandalized by someone in the town, because I can't tell you how many people in this town were upset that they were building this giant warehouse in Sayreville. So it's not apartments. It's a warehouse that's going up. And this warehouse, it was being built where this beautiful, the woods were here, and they were just knocking down all these trees and
It's Jersey.
completely like knocked down an entire section of the woods. And a lot of people around town were super upset, and it was like all over Facebook, and people were complaining. Although, it doesn't really make sense how someone would get access to one of the machines. I strongly believe that it was someone in town that, took it upon themselves to find a way to break into one of the machines, or maybe it is the identical key thing and they can just, get into the machine and use it. Either way, I'm going to go with that it was someone around town, because I can't tell you how many people were just so angry that they were building this giant warehouse in our town, and they had to knock down so many trees. So anyways, I hope that answers some questions, and if not, just my opinion, but great job on the podcast, and I look forward to listening to more.
Hey, what a nice message, man.
That was a really, really uplifting message. Like,
Very
I needed
kind.
to hear that right now.
I know. I don't want to be that person's friend. She just seems so normal.
That was awesome.
Well, and not that the rest of our listeners aren't normal, but I mean, I listen to myself sometimes and I'm like, I'm not normal. So
Well,
but that was really,
we all know that.
very insightful, Jimmy. Very insightful message. And it kind of makes you think, because last week my suspicion was apartments. Can I go on a rant?
Yeah.
Go.
Can I go on a rant that could possibly be a TikTok video?
I'm here for
Right
it.
here. Come on.
New Jersey is being sold out to the highest bidder. Every township is either becoming overrun with apartments or fat warehouses. And at some point, all these town council people in all these little towns have to put their foot down and say, no, enough is enough. But at what point is it going to come to that? I don't know. Because I look around me in Union County, everywhere I look is an apartment building. There is no way there are enough people in this state to move into these apartment buildings. At some point, there has to be something else going on. I'm getting my tinfoil cap on here because I don't understand what they're doing with the apartment buildings. Then you talk to people from Central and South Jersey and they go, everywhere along I-95 or off the Parkway is all warehouses or Amazon buildings. And I feel bad for people that have been in the state for like their entire lives that are in their 50s because they're just going to leave New Jersey. All these older people are just going to leave, and we're going to be left with a state full of warehouses and apartments. So that was my rant.
Wow. That was hot.
So
Like that was a hot take.
I feel bad for people in Sayreville. Would you want a massive warehouse coming
No.
in where there used to be woods?
No,
like,
of course
I'm not.
not.
Anti like, there's areas of our state that are more industrial that warehouses belong in, like every state.
We're the garden state. Why are we taking the garden out of the state? Why? Like we're tearing down all these woods, all these farms to put warehouses and apartments up everywhere, man. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. When my parents moved into our house across Valley Road, that was a farm.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. There's farms everywhere.
Yeah.
Dude, like Hyatt, Hills, and Clark, the golf course, like it used to be factories, but
Yeah.
before that it was like all just like farmland and stuff. And so like it's insane.
It's really interesting if you look at old maps and see how like certain farm names and stuff correlate with like modern day roads. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't mean to go off on a rant. I feel like a lot of New Jersey residents feel helpless. And here, what's happening is what's the big construction company with all the apartments?
Vermella.
Yeah, like Vermella is donating to town councils, right? So that the town can distribute that money for projects. But the thing is, regular people living in New Jersey do not have that kind of monetary sway where you can make a massive contribution to the town with money so that they'll listen to you. So like in my parents' town, there's a new apartment complex going in that they really shouldn't be putting in. The town's overcrowded as it is. The schools don't have space. We have a teacher shortage in most of these towns.
What was your take when you went to the Cranford town hall meeting about that?
Oh, I went to 750 Walnut. There was a meeting in Cranford about the 750 Walnut apartment building. If you don't live in
like
the
were
area,
people like speaking up, being like, "We
Dude,
don't want this."
It was
I can't even
awesome.
imagine.
It was so awesome because, it was like 150 people and they all showed up to a town meeting, which I was like, this is great. This is the process at work. You need to show up to your town meetings and have your voice heard. Because look, if they do it regardless, at least you spoke your
Well, I was about
voice.
to say, like, people should be going to their town hall meetings
yeah.
to like speak up their concerns if they don't want this. But you said so many people came through.
Yeah, people are flipping out.
But does that make a difference? Because look, they're building the apartments now.
I think...
Like, what does that do?
I think at the end of the day...
It comes back to your theory. Like, these
At the end
towns
of
are
the
just
day,
getting
if
outbid.
if a town like Cranford has 30,000 people in it and 150 show up, the
That's
town
nothing.
council goes, we can get away with it.
You're
Yep.
right. Yeah, so you need like a mob of like over 1,000 people to show up.
Yeah, and it's not just Cranford. It's Fanwood, Westfield, Garwood, Clark. All these local towns are they do not care. It's not. I would love to be in a meeting where they talk about this because maybe they can't. Maybe their hands are tied or something. But it just blows my mind that we're at a point where nobody on these town boards is going, guys, maybe it's too many apartments. Maybe too many. Maybe we need to go to Morris County or way out to I don't know, Somerset County. Let's expand outward to.
Everyone listening
I
to
know
this,
they're
they're like, no.
They're like,
Well, I
no.
think that's very happening. Like, if you go, I was thinking going to Stokes, right? There used to be, you pass by this nice cornfield, and now you pass by all these apartments.
disgusting.
And a big ShopRite and all that, and now there's an extra traffic light there.
And Wawa's everywhere.
And Wawa's everywhere.
I'm not opposed to if we need to meet the demand of people living, but the reality is these apartments aren't even affordable. They're all quote unquote luxury
but they're
apartments.
getting filled up. People are paying, dude. That's what's scary.
Oh, there's
so
those
here-
ones in Garwood that go for like $3,000.
It's stupid.
But here's the thing: at what point does luxury just become regular? If every apartment's a luxury, have you seen?
they don't build regular apartments. Everyone's a luxury apartment.
That's what I was gonna say. Is have you seen a building go up recently where they're like just apartments,
No.
just like regular old apartments? Everything's
Anything-
luxury.
Because it's 2023. Like, you got to
Yeah.
make it look nice to sell it.
Yeah, but if everything's luxury, nothing's luxury.
Correct.
But people are comfortable with what they get.
So
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is, when you say luxury, there's a value proposition there that's greater than the
100%,
standard.
yeah.
But if the standard is all the same, then what even is luxury?
I
anymore?
don't think Vermella actually considers them luxury apartments, do they? Or
I'm
like,
sure.
is that a branding now still? Like,
Let's
because
see.
that was a branding. Like when I lived in a luxury apartment 6 years ago. Like now I don't, but like I haven't been keeping up
I
because the
think
prices
any
are
new
insane.
construction, they're going to market it as luxury.
Yeah, Vermella, Woodbridge, luxury apartments.
Yeah.
Vermella, New Jersey, luxury rental communities. I get this is what that is on their website.
So
I mean, it is really nice,
nice.
like
Some-
compared to where I'm living.
some percentage of every single new apartment complex has to have a certain percentage of affordable units, but it's like not many.
So we should get back to the actual point of this call from this awesome caller. I think that's a really good theory. I could see, we got pretty heated right here about the apartments. I could see people in Sayreville being fed up and somebody just going after it.
Imagine like a group of people from the town got together for like a drink one night, and then they all just like plot together like, all right, who wants to go take the excavator
You know what?
out?
I'll tell you what. It's not the right way to go about things.
It's hilarious.
It's kind of immoral, but it'll get people to listen. So
And what we were talking about, like how it's easy to copy those keys last week, and like they're kind of all the same, and that's what a lot of people were commenting, right, Josh?
yeah, a lot of people were saying you could buy those keys on Amazon. But also, someone said most construction sites like this leave the key in the truck. So that's probably what happened. Somebody showed up and destroyed it. The other thing is, it's a high wall. So for the way they destroyed it, you had to, I think, know what you were doing. You couldn't just willy-nilly.
I think I asked Jimmy this last week. Jimmy, is it easy to work an excavator?
It's not difficult.
I mean, like, if I just sat in it for the first time, like, would I be able to? I guess if I just start
If you start-
touching everything, I'm gonna break something.
I mean, also, you have Google and YouTube in your hand. Just look up how to
Oh
run
my
a
gosh,
cat
wait! I
excavator.
didn't even think about that. Yeah, sure. Go to Chat GPT,
Yeah.
open AI, just be like, "Hey, can you write me a tutorial on how to operate an
Exactly.
excavator?" And it'll probably give you a whole rundown.
Well, I don't even know what to say about this. I feel like
I gotta go drive by that wall. Like, I'm like 15 minutes from there. I want to
Yeah.
go check it out, get some intel.
speaking of excavators, have you guys heard of Diggerland?
Yes, I wanted. If I was a kid, and
Is this new?
I still want. It's been around for a few years.
So
It's
not
just-
when we were kids.
No, it's been around probably 10 years now.
Yeah.
It's just an amusement park in New Jersey where every ride is just a like either an excavator.
That is
or,
so
I'm trying to find
cool.
images. There's sites. Like look at this.
It's like equally cool for like parents and kids.
Like, do they have those like the ones that kids could sit in and like dig their own like
I think
Yes.
the kids
you know
can
excavators
use
in the sand?
big
Like,
ones. Yeah,
really?
yeah,
Dude, look at this.
It's an amusement park for
This
that.
kid is doing a crane.
it's awesome.
That looks so
New
cool.
for 2023.
Oh man, this is awesome.
Have you taken any of your nieces and nephews there, Josh?
I always wanted to take him. He went one time, my nephew, and he loved it. But I would love to go down more so for myself than for him
Of course, yeah. Look
because
at
it
that.
just
It's a
looks like so much fun.
Can they sponsor us? Can they like have us come there, make a video?
Oh, let's
go
I
dig
would
some holes.
happily go to
What's-
Diggerland.
What's Diggerland XL? Oh my gosh!
Wait, is this the adult version?
yeah?
Wait,
wow.
Diggerland XL. Wait, what's this one, Josh?
This one. Here's the frequently asked questions, general information. Let's see what they got. They're not selling tickets anymore, but I don't know.
But what is this? Like the adult version?
It's just the adult. You can work actual machinery.
You don't have to be licensed or anything. You just drive a
You
truck.
just show up, buy a ticket.
Guys, how did I never know about this?
But I would say the easier way is instead of paying them, go get a job in construction. You get paid to do this.
yeah, but you got to put in some time to get to that level, right? Like I feel like it's
I
too
don't
late
know.
for us. It's never too late. It's never too late for anything. But like at the same time, like I feel like you have to work a long way to get to that point.
Yeah, maybe.
Or do crane operating. That's where the money is.
I would love to operate.
Any crane operators listening, can you like hit us up and leave a mailbag and let us know your experience? Things. I've always wanted to be a crane operator.
It'd be cool to get a picture of someone listening to the podcast in their crane.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Record yourself listening to the podcast in your crane.
I'll tell you what, if somebody listens to this podcast from an interesting location, your workplace is not like just a desk like most of our workplaces, send us a picture, send us a DM on Instagram. If it's good enough, we'll put it on our Instagram.
If it's good enough, we'll send you a piece of merch too. Like we'll give you a hoodie or something.
I'll agree on
This
that.
is gonna be so fun. I'm gonna be checking DMs constantly, just waiting.
Yeah, if you listen to this podcast, like, I don't know, like in the Empire State Building with a view of Lower Manhattan.
Like that is a cool view, but I'm hoping for like a crane or something,
Okay, now that we put it out
like
there.
a spaceship.
All right, so I think we should get into the news. We gotta.
How could people call in?
If you want to call into the mailbag, thank you, Josh Chomick.
got
That's
you,
a
bro.
great reminder.
That's why I'm your co-host. I'm here to remind you things to say.
Yeah, it's a great reminder. And
I'm trying to remember the jingle.
It's 908 67 99 99 3. Isn't that it?
Yeah, because I remember 67 because I think of star 67. Area code is always the same area code. Then 9999 and 3 because it's 3 of us here on the podcast.
You remember the 3?
Yeah, because it's you, me, and Jimmy.
Should we call it to make sure, or should we just trust the memory?
No, we're gonna trust the memory.
So if you want to call into the mailbag and leave us a message, you can call 908. Oh, you want to do it?
Yeah, we got to do it. 1, 2, 3. 908 67 99 99 3. First try.
Call today. All right, let's get into the news. This one's kind of interesting. We got a daredevil representing the Devils this past week. It says, this past week, a New Jersey pilot flew the Devils logo into competition's airspace.
So cool. I'm so jealous of whoever is able to do this with their plane or just be. I think it's the coolest thing ever.
This is just another sign that we're living in the lap of luxury in America. We now have people that create art by flying airplanes in patterns.
Tell us about it, because I have actually so many things to say about this.
Yeah, so they just basically, because every flight path is recorded. That's, I guess the FAA requires that. And so there's all these people on Twitter that'll go around flying their plane into shapes. So this guy is flying out over Seattle, and he flew the Devils logo over Seattle. It's actually pretty sick. It says, "This takes New Jersey pride to the next level, and I love it." A new Devils fan proved his allegiance to the team in the most creative way possible. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a Devils logo. Great writing here. Jeremy Katz, also known as Airplane Nut 312 on social media. Can we just shout that handle?
Yo, go follow him.
Is a pilot with a Cessna at his disposal. He decided to make the best of it just in time for the game against the Seattle Kraken. He flew into Seattle airspace to send a message of support for our team. The Devils appreciated his creative concept and will be giving him a big shout out during their game against Seattle.
So is it super easy for these guys to draw these like on the flight path?
I have no
Or
idea.
is it kind of just like by memory?
There's no way. You can't draw the Devils logo.
No,
by
yeah,
memory.
you have to be able to see on your radar.
Yeah. You can see your flight path, I'd assume.
Technology, like it's 2023. Like, what am I thinking?
I saw a flight path art that was so clean that it had to be like almost computer software where they could just pinpoint all the locations before they go up.
Yeah, how do we know these are real? Like, can't someone just go to like Microsoft Paint and like just paint a flight path? I could paint a flight path.
Microsoft Paint.
Yes.
Is that even a thing anymore?
I think so.
That's a great
actually.
question.
Yeah, Photoshop, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you could fake it, I guess, but it's a lot cooler if you do it in real life.
Have you guys ever used Microsoft Flight Simulator
Yes.
with like the actual whole setup?
No.
Have you done it, Josh?
No, but I'd like to.
I just flew my friend's he has a whole sim chair with like the flight controls and everything, and I took off from Newark Airport.
That's
It
awesome.
was
Any
so
delays?
cool. There was no delays.
That's great.
Crazy how the video game was like no delays.
Did you fly over your house?
I did.
No way.
Yeah, I was like looking down at like where I
What
live
were
and
you
stuff.
flying?
He gave me like a smaller jet because the 747s are way too hard to fly. Like it's super realistic. Like you turn a little bit, guys, and like
You turned.
I would fly into my house.
So when I was flying home from Cali, I was like thinking about my whole like flight experience on simulator. I'm like, wow, props to these pilots. Like landing and taking off is super hard on a plane.
So what's like the time like in that game? Like if you're
Real
flying
time.
to California, so it would take you the same
If
amount
you want to
of
fly to
time.
Cali, it's going to take you like 4.5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. And they say like the most accidents happen on takeoff or landing for a plane because when you're in the air, it's mostly autopilot for commercial flights. So like, and it's true in the video game. Like once you're in the sky, it's easy, but like taking off and like landing, it's so hard. Like if anyone's ever played that game, it's incredible because you get to see everything. It feels like real life. But
Yeah.
so I'm thinking about this guy drawing things in the sky. It's like you got to be pretty precise as a pilot to like draw a perfect logo like this.
But also it's probably a lot easier with like a little Cessna versus a jet.
Oh yeah, any day.
Yes.
So cool.
Cessnas seem like they're a bit easier to fly for sure with the little, based on what I've seen. I've never flown either of them, but I'd imagine like a 747 takes a little bit of practice to get down. But nonetheless, this is a cool idea, and I hope we see more airplane logos. I really want to get my pilot's license, guys. I want to go to...
That'd be sick.
I think Morristown lets you... The airport in Morristown lets you practice.
Yeah, my aunt actually took flight lessons there.
Do you guys want to do it? Jimmy, would you do it with me?
I'd probably go somewhere else.
Well, I was going to say, Josh, there's I was talking to a friend of mine who's actually going to get his license. You could actually clock hours in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
really
Get out.
Yes, there's like a whole process to go through to make it official. But there's also like a way in the game where you could play like in real life. Like you're always playing online, but there's a way to communicate to like online towers and stuff. And it's like if you
That's
mess up trying to get your hours, like they'll cut you from the game. Like in
That's
this certain
so
mode,
cool.
because it's like real life, and that's how realistic some of these like controls are.
I love it. I love that so much. The internet is so weird and awesome. Well,
I have one more question about
Yeah.
this. So he drew this logo right in airspace. The only person who was able to see this logo are the people in the flight tower, right?
No,
Or other-
you could go online and look up pretty much every flight and watch it.
Yeah, but like my thing is, it's like, do you think a lot of people actually saw this until the article came out? Like, I never see flight paths.
Yeah, but also you're not into that type of thing. There's some people who are just like into it and like look and see different flight paths.
So like a person could be checking flight paths and randomly see a
Yeah.
Devils logo.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's so interesting how you could see, like, look, I just clicked on, this is actual big airlines. I'm on flightradar24.com.
That's the one I use.
That's awesome.
You can just click on any plane and see their exact path. It's
Yep.
really cool. It's also kind of creepy when you see how many planes, like how many
It's
planes are flying in
terrifying.
America right now.
It's such a mess.
It's like thousands. It's amazing.
And yeah,
more of
and
them.
that we don't hit each other.
It's kind of crazy. But when you think about how big a plane is on this massive amount of land,
Yeah.
it'd be like,
What-
these planes are right over each other.
Yeah, dude, that's so cool. They're crossing right over
Have
each
you,
other.
has that happened to you before? You're like looking out the window and you see a plane like go under you?
Yes, and it's like super
Yep.
fast.
It's
so,
crazy.
you're like, wait, am I going that fast? And it's like, wow, I am.
Also, I think it's San Francisco that has like parallel runways.
Yeah, that's where I just took off from.
Yeah, and you watch
So cool.
the planes land next to you and take off next to you.
I was just going to say, because we were talking about Cessnas and accidents, did you guys hear about these 5 EVs that caught on fire this past week? This is insane.
So crazy.
5 electric vehicles caught fire this past week while being transported, causing 295 to be shut down.
Wow.
Dude, these electric vehicle batteries, bro.
So these were all being transported, like I said. And the thing is, once these EVs catch on fire,
They take forever to put out, right?
it seems that they're almost impossible to put out.
So did one car turn on fire and then the rest just caught like the flames?
It says a fire on a car carrier on Route 295 closed the highway during the Monday morning commute. 5 electric or hybrid vehicles on the carrier caught fire at 6:15 a.m. in the southbound lanes between exit 75 and exit 73. Ewing Police Lieutenant Glenn Tedimer told New Jersey 1015 the lanes were closed until 8:30 a.m., creating a backup on the bridge. Traffic in the northbound lanes heading towards the bridge was unaffected. So state police said no one was injured in the fire. The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
Ooh. What do you
So-
think? How do you think these cars caught on fire? Like, did the
Because-
battery just like, these cars are off too. So that's what's weird about it. Like, was there just like, can a battery just like burst out in flames like randomly like that?
I don't see why. I mean, that's happened with people's vapes. I've seen those videos.
Yeah, but like, is this like a common thing with EVs or like not really?
I've never heard of a Tesla just lighting on fire, but I've seen accidents where they light on fire.
Yeah, that's what's weird. It just randomly caught on fire. On
It
this
looks
thing.
like Teslas in the photos. Let me go get the article back up. You can't really tell if they're Teslas. They could be anything, I guess. But
Yeah, once they're all melted and burned, it's
that looks like a Range Rover or something, actually.
What does it say in the article about them like burning longer? Like, no, down, right there.
So the article says batteries in hybrid vehicles can be difficult to extinguish because the lithium-ion battery can burn hotter and for a longer period of time than a gasoline engine. In March, firefighters used several thousand gallons of water to put out a fire in a Tesla that slid off the Palisades Interstate Parkway. We reported on that accident, actually. The impact of the crash caused the battery to rupture, putting it into a thermal runaway. Thermal runaway.
Whoa.
wow. That's not good.
According to
That just
the-
sounds bad. I don't know what it
Yeah.
means, but it sounds bad.
It is a condition that develops when the heat generated inside the battery is higher than the amount of heat being dissipated, making the fire very difficult to extinguish. It took 2 hours for that fire to be declared under control. So you're talking 2 hours.
Well, yeah, and that was one. So think about like now five
Five.
EVs at once.
And I think another issue with this is they can reignite like days later. Yeah.
Can they
Days.
really?
Yeah.
Why? Because
So-
they maintain that heat? Or?
Yeah, I think it's so hard to.
So what do you
got
got to do with it? Like, where do you put it after you extinguish it?
I don't know.
It's kind of an interesting thing to think about because there's so many EVs on the road, and I guess you're trading the safety of all the technology that comes with a Tesla for the slight potential that you get in a really bad accident and your car bursts into 4,000 degree flames. Like, how hot are these flames?
Like, I'm
They
curious.
got to
Like,
make 800 degree flames, right?
how many? I'm gonna look up how many EVs burst into flames a year. Like, do you think there's a number?
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I doubt it, but I'd guess there's a couple.
Stats compiled found that for every 100,000 EVs, there are about 25 fires each year. That compares to 1,530 car fires in the same number of gas-powered vehicles annually. So yeah, wow. Okay,
Yeah, but gas powered fire is different. Like your engine starts to smoke, you get out, and then it lights up. I mean, it's still very dangerous.
well, at least
So-
it's 25 for every 100,000. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy. Sorry.
Here it says that there was 2,825 electric cars catching fire last year.
Wow. So what is this stat?
Well, you said per 100,000, so there's probably 10 times 100,000
Oh, I think this is in Florida.
or 100. I'm sorry, 100 times whatever you read. EVs on the road. I don't know. Either way, it's really scary because you think once it goes up, if you're unconscious, that's the big thing with car fires is I think my brother-in-law one time dragged somebody. He was driving and there was a car that lit on fire. He dragged the guy out of the car and like he saved the guy's life, right? Or at least saved him from serious injuries.
Wow.
And you think if that's you in an EV and it goes 0 to, I don't know, however hot they get and these massive flames, I don't know, man. It's not a good situation.
Thanks, Elon.
I'm not like bashing the Tesla. You know, I think it's a cool car. I drive one. But I didn't know that they launch into like eternal flames.
Yeah, it's kind of
Like the pit
scary.
of hell.
I would love some insight on that from like a firefighter. Like
Well-
if anyone's ever like fought like a fire like that.
I actually have a friend who's a firefighter who you should give a call.
Get him on the pod.
Can we get him on the line right now?
Yeah, let's give Chad a call.
Okay, let's
Chad?
see what he's got for us tonight.
What do we need to know before we talk to him? Like, what town is he a firefighter in?
He's a career firefighter somewhere, and then he's a chief of the Goodwill Fire Company, which is in Pemberton, I think.
So he'll know quite a bit about these fires.
Hello.
Chad, it's Jimmy.
How are you? How
Hey,
are you, Jimmy?
you're on the Garden State. So we're here with my co-hosts Josh, and we're going to talk a little bit about electric car fires.
Oh, we lost him.
Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button.
No worries. That's fine.
No worries. All right, so you're here with my friends Josh, and we're going to talk a little about electric car fires tonight.
Yeah, so really quick, Chad, we just saw an article about 5 electric vehicles that were being transported. And it says they lit up in flames on, I think it was, what was it,
295.
Yeah, on 295. So what's the issue with these EVs? Why are they so hard to put out when they light up on fire?
So, first off, this is very new to us. You know, we're still learning in the fire service and gathering info. So what I've learned, because, you know, I've sort of dove into this because it's going to be a problem. The battery compartments are built in a way to protect them from damage, right? So however fast the car goes, 80 miles an hour, however down the highway, if it hits a piece of metal, that's supposed to protect the battery from being damaged, right? So therefore, it's going to be very difficult for the firemen to get into it, to get water into it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right. So they're also watertight because where your problems come from in batteries is when they're damaged.
Oh, interesting.
However that damage may be, whether it, overheating, some type of collision in a motor vehicle accident. So they're watertight and they're almost bomb-proof, right? So how do we get into it, right? We can't. It's on fire. It's very hard to get to. So that's the issue. I do know we're working with some of our tow companies in Burlington County. You have to tow these vehicles a certain way. You can't. You have to flatbed them. You can't tow them on a normal tow truck. The wheels can't spin. It generates power.
Wow.
Oh, that's so interesting. Oh, that makes sense. That could make it even worse then. So here's the thing
Correct.
is we're seeing more and more of these Teslas and whatever, coming all over New Jersey. And I've yet to see one of these fires. I heard up in the Palisades Parkway, a guy died last year from one. But what I guess we're wondering just from reading this article is this going to become a big issue with these EVs where we're going to be seeing fires that just burn for 2 or 3 hours real hot? And I mean, regular gas engines we were just talking about, they light on fire as well. But you guys can get them out a lot easier, no?
Correct. So the industry, they do testing and they need UL approval and DOT approval and national safety traffic standards and all kinds of things that they need to meet and exceed. And they don't want these fires, right? So we're not really seeing a crazy number of electrical vehicle fires. Now, other components, e-bikes, hoverboards, things of that nature, yes, we are. But there's different reasons for that. Yes, we are getting an occasional electric vehicle fire. I haven't been on one. And then the thing is what the manufacturers are telling us how to handle them, a lot of fire departments aren't prepared to handle them in that manner, or trained to handle them in that manner.
And
So the
then
easiest,
can't they relight like days later too?
yes. So what basically the industry standard right now is to allow them to burn.
Wow.
Because what happens is once one cell of that battery is damaged, it just keeps going and going and going until there's no battery or cells left and they're gone.
So do we know how long that would take for it to fully burn out?
We don't, right?
Wow.
Intensity, you know, there's so many variables just like any other fire. So that's fine, like in Pemberton, New Jersey, where traffic's not like that big of a deal. There, you know, we can probably let most of them burn and just have a fire truck on standby. That's not going to be possible on the New Jersey turnpike, right?
Yeah.
Or something of that nature. So I know I'm involved in altering the policy on how we're going to handle them in Burlington County. I'm sure once we start having them, you know, the Turnpike Authority will jump on that, and DOT, and you know, can we move them to an area where we can allow them to burn? They've had different things catch fire up to 30 some hours later.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah. So, you know, and then there's a lot of gimmicky stuff out there. You know, everybody wants to make money off of something. And anything you add fire department to, it goes up. So they're selling all these gimmicky things like a blanket to cover the car. Well, it probably isn't going to put out a gasoline car fire, let alone an electrical vehicle fire. And the problem, and the crazy part is when these batteries go into thermal runaway, they don't need oxygen to burn. They create their own oxygen.
Oh, wow. That's nuts.
So you can smother them all you want. It doesn't matter. They're going to continue to burn. They also sell a thing to puncture the battery compartment. Well, Tesla actually has on their website an emergency response guide. And it says, do not puncture the battery compartment. A big thing over in the UK is they're creating dumpsters into like swimming pools so they can submerge the car. So everyone wants to do that. The first line of Tesla's ERG is do not submerge the car.
Wow.
So
Well, how would you even, like, if you were going to try to submerge it, how would you even go about that when it's burning at however many degrees?
And see, correct. So again, people think they just see gimmick and, you know, oh, it looks good. So if you can get to the car to a manageable fire where you can pick it up with like a backhoe or an excavator or a rotator tow truck, you may be able to do that. They're telling us to put them lift them up 2 feet off the ground on one side, like jack it up and apply water and cool the battery compartment. There's enough problems with vehicle fires, and you start trying to lift them and move them, and you're just going to create a bigger problem, potentially get people hurt. You know, the steady thing that's being said is you have to allow them to burn. You know, but how long is that going to take? You know, but at the same time, to deliver the amount of water it would need to possibly put this out would probably be the same amount of time. Like there's no fire hydrants on the New Jersey Turnpike. I refer to the New Jersey Turnpike because we deal with it at work, and you know that's the heaviest volume of traffic. There's no fire hydrants out there, so how are we going to get 30,000 gallons of water?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Right. So yeah, we're going to use tankers like we do when we have tractor trailer fires and stuff, but you know that's going to take some time and resources and you know tie traffic up quite a bit.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, that's really interesting. It's something that not a lot of people know about, which is why we wanted to talk to you, because like I said, we're seeing these Teslas everywhere, and not that people, I guess, need to be worried about it unless you're going to get in an accident. But who's to say if you're going to get in an accident or not? You know, it's like anything else
correct.
in life.
And that seems to be where some of the problems, or most of the problems, are coming with post-accident. Not seeing a lot just spontaneously catch fire or have, issues, but it could be, and to dive deeper is, what happens when you're charging it in your house and then the thing catches fire.
Oh, wow.
Post fire, if the car catches fire because the house was on fire, that's just something different and you have to deal with that. The other thing is parking garages. That's going to be extremely difficult to deal with in a parking garage.
They're just, like you said, they're just going to have to wait, right? There's nothing else you could really do at that point.
Correct. But, there's so many cars in there, limited access, limited ventilation. That's just going to be, quite an event.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for the info. I really, really appreciate it. Jimmy, do you want to say anything?
No problem. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thanks, Chad. Appreciate it. And we'll be talking to you soon.
All right, man. Take care.
All right. Talk to you. Bye.
Later.
Great intel.
Yeah, it was really interesting information. And
Kind of makes me not want to have an EV in my house ever.
yeah, well, the other thing is I'm about to read this next headline, and it's bringing a new fear into my mind. So the next headline is about the Holland Tunnel. It's about to get some construction. Can you imagine being in the Holland Tunnel and an EV lights on fire?
No.
Like, what are you going to do?
You're trapped,
You're
dude.
stuck.
And think about all that heat, like in the tunnel.
You have to run.
Midsummer. I guess you have to just run out at that point.
So this article says the Holland Tunnel's New Jersey-bound lanes will be closing 6 nights a week at 11 p.m. for 2 years in order to repair them.
And I believe they just finished the other side, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. So the other side was closed for a little while on weeknights. So now it's going to be the flip, like the Jersey bound.
So if you commute home at 11 p.m. or later from the Holland Tunnel into Jersey, you're going to have to find another way. The Lincoln's going to be your way from
It's
now
gonna
on
be a mess.
they're
Verrazano.
redoing it. It says all New Jersey-bound traffic at the tunnel will be suspended 6 overnights each week beginning at 11 p.m. on Sunday, February 5th. The closures will last 2 years.
It's just 2 years. It's not long.
just 2
It's
years.
2
That's a long
years.
time.
The work is designed for critical Superstorm Sandy repairs, according to the Port Authority of New Jersey.
Wait,
And
we're just getting to those repairs now?
I was going to say
Critical repairs.
10 years ago.
that's crazy.
Oh, we got some leaks? What's going on?
The $364 million repair project during the overnight closures include the replacement of mechanical, electrical, communications, and plumbing systems damaged by the salt from Sandy seawater flooding, as well as repairs to architectural, structural, and civil elements of the tunnel's infrastructure. Since I was a kid, every time I drive through the Holland Tunnel into the city, like you guys remember going to the city as a kid?
All the time.
My dad would drive us in, and I'd look out at the tunnel, and I always wondered when they were going to fix the tiles.
Oh, yeah. There's so many falling off.
Yeah, they're all missing. And then I imagine, like, what if one of them popped off and water came through?
I always thought that. I was like, wait, the water's on the other side of that tile. Like, we're about to be screwed.
Could you imagine?
My
so-
worst nightmare.
So I don't know what else to really say about this besides if this is your route, you might want to change things up a bit. And 2 years is kind of a hilarious amount of time to be like, oh, yeah, it's going to be a 2-year project.
Yeah, it's only 2 years, dude. Don't worry about it.
But I mean, I'm sure it's warranted.
Well-
It's a lot of work and a massive. How long is the Holland Tunnel?
Guys, like
2 miles?
Doesn't it make you
Yeah.
feel safe that like it's been 10 years and they still need repairs and you've been driving that tunnel?
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty freaky, right?
Yeah.
The Holland Tunnel is 8,500 feet long, so
And the best time to drive the Holland Tunnel into Jersey is after 11 p.m. when there's no one in it and there's no traffic. Like during the day or rush hour, you don't want to be caught near that Holland Tunnel.
when Shelb lived in New York, she lived in Lower East Side, and my favorite, the best feeling was getting in the Holland Tunnel on like a weeknight
Oh,
in the evening.
Yep.
Holland Tunnel will be empty. As soon as you get to Jersey, leaving that terrible city. No offense if you work in New York.
It's just not good.
But I love New York. Everybody loves New York. But there's something about leaving New York that just feels like
When I was a kid, we used to go to the city a lot as a family, but coming back to Jersey, the area of the Holland Tunnel where it shows you the borderline of New York and
yes.
like we would cross the borderline and my grandpa would tell us to just breathe in the fresh air. He's like, doesn't it smell better?
Wait, you don't tell it?
It's like it's so much cleaner in Jersey.
Oh man,
That's a memory I'll never forget.
I wish I got to know Dito Tolo better because everything he says sounds
It's a
funny.
legend.
Remember he threw the apple in the.
Yes.
So, if you're working on this project and maybe you're watching this video, Leave us a comment. You know, you're working 82 hours a day. Have you guys seen that video?
No, what is that? Like a union video?
You got soft hands, brother. You haven't seen that?
Sounds like Tony.
It's like every guy I know that works Carhartt at my job site. It's like, you got soft hands, brother. A lot of these stories tonight seem to be dealing with cars, tunnels, and this next story comes out of West Orange, New Jersey, where a teenager is asking the state to require more mandatory driving hours for teens to get their license.
A teenager's asking that?
Yeah, teenagers going to the government saying, can you make it harder for me to get my license?
Why?
Well, so
You have 6 months to do it. Why do you need more time?
Well, do they mean to like get your permit? Like, is this before you actually are able to just drive with your parents? Like, do they want more in-person instruction time?
it's saying it's a bill that would increase supervised practice time to 50 hours. So you'd need to get 50 hours of practice time before you could get your license.
What is it right now?
By your parent or with a licensed instructor? Because I think you have to do 6 hours with the instructor right now. So if they want to up that to 50 hours with the instructor, that's a lot of time.
So it says student drivers in the state now get 6 months to practice driving with an experienced adult driver, but current regulations don't specify a minimum number of hours of practice the students need behind the wheel. So I'm assuming that means you could do it with your parents or some sort of supervisor.
But they want to be like able to clock 50 hours.
Well, let me read you the article and we'll bring in our hot takes. You ready? West Orange High School student Zoe Gilson made a command decision to put off. Command decision? What does that mean?
It's like a strong decision.
Okay.
Sounds good.
West Orange High School student Zoe Gilson made a command decision to put off a traditional rite of passage for teenagers. When she reached the eligible age to apply for a driver's license, Gibson decided not to. She felt she didn't have enough practice time on the road. She told an assembly committee Thursday that was considering a bill that would increase supervised practice time to 50 hours in New Jersey. Student drivers in the state now get 6 months to practice driving with an experienced adult driver, but current regulations don't specify a minimum number of hours of practice the students need behind the wheel. Gilson told the committee she didn't feel comfortable taking the test with little practice, citing information about how teenagers' brains develop and retain information, and the practice time recommended by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is, I guess, longer. On my birthday, I didn't apply for my driver's license. I realized I wasn't ready, she said. How wise.
So let's make a bill and make it required for everybody.
This generation of kids loves the boot of government on their neck.
Oh, they love it.
They're like, government,
If she's not ready,
regulate me more.
if you're not ready, don't get your license yet. Like, why does everyone else have? Why are you making it mandatory for? Listen, when I was 16, I probably got, hundreds and hundreds of
I drove
hours.
everywhere.
I always asked my parents to get me behind the wheel and stuff. So I don't know what this girl, like, what her deal is like, do her parents or like her guardians not want to drive her, like, be in the car with her? Like, I don't know what the issue is here.
From the time I got my permit, I don't think my parents drove once
Same.
until I got my license.
Oh, I was so annoying. I was like, give me the keys.
Well, even like today, my parents never drive me anywhere. I like.
See,
If I'm driving with them, I'm driving like 99% of the time.
if my parents want to drive, I'm like, no, give me the keys.
So there is some precedent for what she's trying to fight for. Before I give any takes on this, she says, it says that the bill A3793 would bring New Jersey more in line with what other states require and what safety experts said reduces teen driver crashes. New Jersey, Arkansas, and Mississippi are the only 3 states that do not require teen practice hours. So most, I guess, we're one of the 3 that don't require the practice hours.
Like, we've been good all this time.
Well, I don't know that we're good. Here's the thing.
Cell phones, dude. It comes back to the cell phone thing. All these kids are on TikTok.
Yeah,
We've talked about it. Like, that's the only reason why all these kids are crashing. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a confidence thing or what it is, but I just think it's weird. There's something smelly about this. Not that I don't know what I usually have hot takes about everything. I don't know how to feel about this. Because if it's going to save kids' lives, great. But it's just weird to me that this girl went and made an example of herself before. I find it to be smelly for some reason.
I think it's very smelly.
It's giving big Greta Thunberg vibes to me.
I don't like it because, bro, like, did you used to drive all the time when you were 16?
When I was, as soon as I got my permit as soon as I could.
Yeah.
And yeah, I drove a lot.
Yeah. So we got I think kids who want to actually be good at driving, they're getting the practice hours in. Like, we don't need a law to tell us how many hours we need to do. Like, we're doing it because we like to drive.
something.
I don't know what this girl's problem is. If she needs someone to help, like, there's people willing to help you if you ask.
I think, and the other thing I'm noticing with this generation is kids wait forever. I talk to kids all the time, and I'm like, that sounds so weird. I just talk to kids all the time. Like, you got your license? No, I'm getting it in March. Well, when was your birthday? Well, it was last June. So what are you waiting for? Like, did you guys get your license on your birthday? How long did you wait, Jimmy?
I got mine as soon as I could.
I woke up that morning. I woke up the morning when the motor vehicle's first one there.
What is wrong with this
and then
generation?
I went to school. I don't know, but I have one of my best friends. His brother didn't get his license for a while, and then even after that, he never drove until he had to go to work.
That's so strange to me. Like,
Right?
I remember on my 17th birthday,
same.
going to the DMV first in line.
It was so good.
I got that license. Showed up to school immediately. My friend bit my license, as is customary. Did anyone bite your guys' license?
Oh, I got pissed.
Yeah, someone bit mine. I got so angry.
I was like, don't touch my license. I don't care for this superstition or whatever.
yeah. So, but that's the experience of a 17-year-old. Like, I don't know.
Well,
Not that she's saying this. The age needs to change. She's just saying more hours. Which, again, I'm trying to find a hole in this whole plan. I just think it's weird that she's asking for it. Like, why not just say, hey, we should strongly encourage people to get practice. Although I guess everybody's in a different life situation. What if you're a 17-year-old? Like, so okay, so here's where you can make an interesting argument. She lives in West Orange, right?
Yep.
What if you live in Newark and your parents don't have a car and you don't have a car to drive 50 hours?
Yeah.
And you just go for your drivers, you do some the practice
100%.
hours. This is only an argument that I think makes a ton of sense if you live in like a...
Can't you go to, like, obviously it's going to cost money, but can't you go to the driving school and schedule hours with them to take you on the road?
You
If
could.
you don't have a car.
You guys remember when you took your class? Do you
I
guys do it?
hated it.
Okay, do you remember when the first time the guy slammed on their brake?
No, it didn't happen to me.
Okay, so
I have an incredible story though.
Jimmy's
was-
a perfect driver.
I was rolling up to the first stop sign. He's like, all right, you should stop. And I kind of hesitated, and he just was like, he just slammed on it. And I stopped, and he was like, just so you know, I could do that. It wasn't like I almost hit somebody. He was just showing me.
Yeah.
But it freaked me
Should
out.
be like, excuse me, sir.
I'm
the driver.
Just slam on the gas pedal.
So I had a really weird experience getting having my driving hours. So the first day we went to this like really creepy building on Route 1. It was like hasn't been updated like since the 60s, all wood paneling, dark room.
Nice.
You had to go up and like the owner of like the driving school had to like sign your certificate, and it was some like very old man in like a full 3-piece suit. It was just odd, right? So we're driving. So I think I did two sessions of 3 hours each. So you're in the car for like a long time with this guy. And I'm like trying to make small talk with my instructor. And then I realize he's not answering me. I look over, the guy's sleeping.
Oh my goodness, that's
He fell
awesome.
asleep.
I was driving on Route 1 and he's asleep.
That's a great gig. If you could just fall asleep while people drive you around.
So, but this is like
I would've slammed on the brakes.
This is like the first time I'm ever driving. So I'm like, what do I do? I don't know where I am. So I ended up just thinking I'm just gonna keep driving straight on Route 1 until this guy wakes up.
Oh my gosh.
So
Would you wake up like down near Princeton?
we were pretty far down.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. Did he say anything?
No.
My guy made me stop at the bodega for him. We had to make some errands.
I was gonna say,
in Elizabeth. I was like, "What do you? Is this what you do? You just have these kids
Yeah.
drive you places?"
I think he was like a drug dealer or something because we stopped at like some sketchy spots and he's like, oh, I have to get out and like see my guy. And then
I stopped at like 3 spots along the way. I was
Yeah.
like, "What is this gig?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Why am I wasting my money here?"
I'll tell you what, my biggest regret for my driver's license was the morning of, it was a Saturday morning at like 7 a.m., this guy shows up. I think he was like a big Italian guy. Maybe he was Greek. And he goes, you got to sign your social security card, because I had to present it to get whatever paperwork at the end. And I'm like groggy, I'm barely awake, and I signed my social security card. I'm like 16 and a half. And my signature was so goofy. And you have that thing for life,
Yeah.
man. You don't get another social security card.
Yeah.
So I just tarnished it with my terrible signature. And then his wife's name was Yolanda, and he kept calling her, Yolanda, I'm with the kid, Yolanda, I'm driving to... I'm like, what is going... Well, maybe it's just that field. Like, it attracts interesting people.
Definitely.
So, I don't know. Well...
If all else fails with like our careers, we should start a driving school.
the Garden
Guys.
State Driving School.
The Garden State Driving School, the Academy for Driving for Children who need to learn how to drive, or something
In
like
New
that.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of driving, do you guys ever drive through Clark, New Jersey?
Yeah.
Well, Clark. You ever pick up a hitchhiker in Clark, New Jersey?
No, not after the guy murdered that one guy.
Yeah, we got interesting news coming out of Clark. Clark, New Jersey is back in the limelight, this time for a Netflix documentary about Kai the hitchhiker.
So Westfield gets a documentary. So Clark immediately gets a documentary next. It's crazy.
Union County is
Union County on the map.
This is the era. Cranford had that movie filmed in it. Westfield has a show about it. This is the era for Union County. Can I just say?
It's time for Jersey, bro. Jersey to stand up.
Well, hey, you got all the Netflix studios and stuff moving to New Jersey. They need local stories.
You know, this is great. This is great.
Do you guys remember when Kai the Hitchhiker, like, it went viral?
Yes.
What year was that?
2013.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, we were doing YouTube like full time at that point. I remember it being everywhere all over YouTube.
That was like a different time for YouTube, too.
Yeah, when viral videos went nuts.
That was when Shmo Yoho would remix everything.
Did they
into,
remix one of his?
I think so.
Yeah.
Smash, smash, smash. That's what the article opens with. Were the three magic words that gave Kai Lawrence the opportunity to turn his life around in 2013. Now the 34-year-old Canadian nomad is serving 57 years in New Jersey, and his story is the center of the newly released Netflix documentary, The Hatchet-Wielding Hitchhiker.
I gotta see this.
You got to watch it. I watched it. So they have, I think I told you guys before, they have B-roll of like White Diamond. Yeah. They have footage from the Rahway train station. So basically, for those of you that don't remember this, you got to see the documentary because it's pretty interesting to see it laid out. I watched it. We all watched it happen. We watched it unfold in real time.
Yeah. Yep.
Like we watched them go viral and it was hilarious. We had no idea what was going to happen.
We were Team Kai. Like we're like, this dude is the man. Like I want to see him turn his life around. I thought it was so cool.
Do you remember when he went on Jimmy Kimmel like a month later?
Yeah.
Okay. And
he was trippy.
Yeah, he was in a car with Jimmy Kimmel on the set, and it was really goofy. They showed the backstory of that, and it is crazy.
Really?
Like he was unhinged.
You got to show me that at some point. I want to see that.
So basically, this guy Kai, whose real name is Caleb McGilvery, went viral in 2013 in a news clip detailing how he saved a woman from her attacker, hitting him thrice over the head with his hatchet. Kai's heroic act and laid-back attitude made the vigilante an overnight star. So I remember this video popped off. He was on Jimmy Kimmel like a few weeks later. And then just a month later, my boy's back in the news because in Clark, New Jersey, he was accused of murdering a 73-year-old man.
So he was like hitchhiking through town and he met some old guy?
They met in Times Square. Kai was in New York, and this guy was like, you look lost. You need a place to stay? Something weird like that.
Yeah.
Creep.
Yeah.
Weird, creepy situation all around.
This is where the story gets so tricky.
Yeah, and Kai accused him of drugging him and sexually doing sexual things to him while he was drugged.
So that was Kai's defense for killing him?
Yeah, and then he said he woke up and killed him. But I don't believe any of it. I think Kai is just a crazy person.
I mean, how do you know?
And the other thing was that the documentary outlines, which is really interesting, is Kai gave weed that was laced to the driver of the original car. So in the original story, Kai attacks a guy who was driving him because Kai was a hitchhiker.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the guy that was driving him was apparently smoking, I guess, weed that was laced with, and Kai knew this. He gave it to him while he was driving, and the driver started yelling, "I'm Jesus Christ! I can do whatever I want!" And he plowed into a.
Oh my gosh!
He plowed in like a group of construction workers and pinned one guy against the truck. The guy didn't die or anything, but then he gets out of the car and there's a lady that runs over and he tries to kill the lady. That's when Kai basically slashes him with the hatchet. So Kai started the whole situation.
Yeah,
and then he
By
ended
giving him drugs.
So someone in the documentary compares it to like lighting a forest fire and then putting it out yourself. And that's pretty much what he did. And he became a hero because of it. So if you want to watch an interesting documentary, you could check out Kai the Hitchhiker.
Do they show a lot of like spots from Jersey, or is it just like Clark and that's it? Is the rest of the documentary like out of state?
It's mainly in LA, where LA, it's all over Canada, LA, and then Jersey.
Oh, cool. So Jersey, like, is Clark, New Jersey, or like, is there anywhere else in Jersey?
I'm trying to remember. Maybe some shots are in Rahway and then Clark. But it's really funny because they have this B-roll outside of White Diamond, like on the, in the front where they have the little seats.
Yeah.
And it's just, I was thinking like, I've sat there so many times.
It's like I could have been on Central Ave that day, and Kai could have been walking by, and I wouldn't have known.
You would have never known. So, really interesting story. He's doing 57 years in prison as a result of this.
What prison is he in right now?
I tried to figure this out.
I think it's Rahway.
Is it Rahway
They
State?
put him in Rahway?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, let me look it up because the name wasn't Rahway State Penitentiary, unless Rahway has changed its name for that prison.
I don't know.
Everyone's rebranding, you know?
Yeah.
You got to rebrand these prisons nowadays.
Union
Rebrand
College
them.
of Union County.
Oh, that still trips me out so much.
He's in prison at Union County Jail in Elizabeth,
Oh, okay.
which is isn't that the one on Route 78?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep. You
Wait,
see
isn't
it.
that like a temporary place? Like, that's not like a long-term spot, though, is it?
I don't know.
Isn't that like a federal...
He was sentenced to 57 years in a New Jersey state prison. So where is that?
So if he's in a county prison now, it might just he's being held
Yeah, I
there
think he's
until
probably
he
just being held.
transfers to Rahway or
that was
somewhere.
January 10th, 2023.
Yeah.
He was in prison. We should go stop by and see if we can visit him.
Can you just like show up to a
imagine.
prison and be like, hey, like this guy doesn't know us, but we want to talk to him? Like reporters. We're reporters. We can meet with people, prisoners, right?
I'm sure we could. We
In
have
the
to figure out how to
Jimmy,
do it.
can you
but
make that happen this week?
We can figure it out.
Thanks.
In the movies, they were always like, "You got to visit her." He's like, "I don't got any family left. Who's visiting me?"
In Prison Break, all the reporters used to come back and like talk to the guys, and the guys would get so mad.
Imagine how cool it is if we go to like one of those windows with the phone and he's on like the other side of the window with the other phone.
He was in the documentary on the phone.
Oh, it's amazing.
So
We'll get him on the pod soon enough.
Get him before Murphy.
From prison.
Well, the crime in this state is running rampant, and this next story doesn't make it much better, although it's a little bit better than a hatchet murder. A woman and a baby were shot by a pellet gun at Bridgewater Commons this past weekend.
That's just unfortunate and very, very miserable.
2 people, including a woman and her infant, were shot in pellet gun attacks 10 days apart outside of Bridgewater Commons. But while the first incident happened on January 4th, police did not notify the community until this last week, days after 2 suspects were charged. So they've caught these guys.
Good.
But it says on January 14th, someone in a white sedan fired at another victim. A pellet struck him in the back of the head, according to Misdak. The victim, who was able to report the description of the vehicle, was walking near the mall's AMC movie theater around 7:20 p.m. What are these people thinking nowadays?
So yeah, 2 19-year-olds just driving around with pellet guns with the orange tip off of the gun.
What an
Shooting,
idiot.
pretending like they have real guns and shooting. Like, our kids just not aware of consequences. That's insane.
Ridiculous.
I don't know. It says detectives tracked the car to Isaiah C. Smith, 19 of Somerville. After getting a warrant, police found an airsoft pistol inside that looked like a Glock handgun because the orange tip had been removed. Smith was charged with simple assault, 2 counts of third-degree possession of a weapon for unlawful purpose, and 2 counts of fourth-degree unlawful possession of a weapon. He was released pending his first court appearance. Corey Q. Robinson, this is his buddy that he was doing with, also of Somerville, was also charged with simple assault, 2 counts of third-degree possession of a weapon for unlawful purpose, and 2 counts of fourth-degree unlawful possession of a weapon. So these guys basically ruined their lives.
Well, listen, there's one thing, like, if, you know, it's bad enough that if you're trying to shoot someone, but shooting a woman in her infant with a pellet gun.
Yeah.
Like, what are you trying to prove? Or like, I can't get into the heads of these criminals. Like, that's just insane to me. A woman has her baby with her, and you're trying to shoot her for a joke? How insensitive could you be?
I think since I'm going to be a soon-to-be father,
I was about to say, like, that's like Shelby at the mall.
I think I'd commit murder
Yeah, like,
if someone shot my wife with a pellet gun. Now, I'm not being serious because obviously the law sorted itself out, but that's insane.
19-year-old, bro.
19, and guess what? I think they're going to jail. So hopefully this causes some
Also,
harsh consequences on their lives.
I don't know how this law works, but isn't it like a bigger penalty too when they take the orange tip off of an airsoft gun to make it look like a real gun?
I don't know. Maybe.
When I got my first airsoft gun when I was young, I started spray painting the tip. My dad caught me. Oh, he was so mad. He gave me the whole speech.
Yeah.
I didn't realize like the consequence, but like it's a pretty big deal.
Yep.
Because like a cop's gonna think I had a real gun.
Well, that happened to someone we know, actually. That wasn't.
You don't have to mention names, but what happened?
They were just like playing airsoft in their front yard, and one of the neighbors called and thought that they had real guns.
They do look real.
Yeah.
So I'm on r/airsoft. It says in the U.S., the orange tip is only federally mandated for manufacturers. Once it gets to your doorstep, you're free to pop that baby off. So,
Really?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
legal. I just think it's not a good idea.
But yeah, because I think if anyone sees you with that, especially if you leave your property, which I don't know why you would bring your airsoft gun out of your property, everyone's going to think it's a real gun, and people are going to freak out.
Yeah,
good.
I think there's a lot of nut cases, in the world that might. I mean, if I saw someone that gun on the Reddit, I just looked like a real deal.
I had a pistol, all black, looked real when I was a kid. I was like 14.
When I was 14-ish, I got I
wasn't allowed to have a paintball gun, but I got an airsoft gun.
got an airsoft gun and I painted it desert camo.
Nice.
It was fuego.
Orange tip too?
I don't think I painted the tip because we would play in the woods by my friend's house over in Cranford, and it was, I don't know why I did desert camo for the luscious woods of New Jersey, but it was so much fun. Oh my! We did it for like an entire summer straight, and then someone called the cops.
It's the good
on them. I wasn't there that day, but I was like 14. We had so much fun. It was so innocent and awesome.
Well, this is what kills me because it's like our kids still able to do that now in the society we live in.
Oh no, definitely not.
Like it was such a simpler time. Like you could easily be in the woods, with airsoft guns, and now
so fun.
no shot. Like it looks like a real gun.
Yep.
Well, the world has changed also. I mean, there's all these craziness going on, but we're going to end on a positive note this week because I purposely planned. We need a happy story so that the viewers walk away from this podcast going, hey, there's some good in this world.
Oh yeah, in Jersey.
And that good news for this week is that Geno's famous cheesesteaks are coming to South Jersey.
Let's go. I don't care for Geno's, but that's pretty cool.
You more a Pat's guy?
D'Alessandro's.
Oh.
I was going to say.
I used to be Pat's, and my friends told me about like D'Alessandro's. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much better.
Joe's Steaks.
That's the
On
best?
Frankfurt. Yep.
It's always like the small spot.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's got to be that's nobody.
People
It's on the
from-
corner of Girard and Frankfurt.
Of course, like I don't know what that is.
People in Philly always know a better cheesesteak spot than you. As a North Jersey guy, I could go there and be like, hey, I went to Geno's. It was pretty. They're like, Geno's. That's where all the tourists go. That's not the real spot.
They'll just grill you.
It's bread and cheese and onions and
It's
steak.
more than that. It's so much
You're
more.
offending Jimmy because Jimmy is a Philly
It's
resident.
so much more than that.
Jimmy low-key is a Philly resident.
If you could screw up a good loaf of bread with cheese, steak, and some peppers and onions, then you got bigger problems. So I'm excited about this.
Where is it coming? Jersey.
So the South Philadelphia icon Geno Steak is crossing the Delaware River. Amazing. For its first ever New Jersey location with a modern spin.
Ooh.
There's a quote from Geno Vento. He says, you don't have to go over the bridge and pay the toll.
Good guy, Geno. Looking out for us here in Jersey.
So you're going to get the same sandwich and delivered to you. That's right. After serving up steaks at South 9th Street and Passayunk Avenue since the 1960s, and in more recent years at some of the outposts and entertainment venues within city limits, Geno's is heading to the Garden State as part of a virtual food hall concept in Cherry Hill, Camden County.
Nice.
So it's a virtual food hall, which I'm assuming is kind of like a ghost kitchen.
Pretty much. Well, it looks like I saw the article and it's like a hallway you walk down and there was like a window with like 8 different logos. So I guess like there's 8 different spots in the kitchen for all these different companies. I don't really know how it works, but
I feel like it's not going to be the same. I'm just going to say it outright.
I feel like everyone in the comments for this one are going to be like, keep Geno's in Philly. We don't want them. People are going to be upset about this somehow.
Yeah, I think there's no way we get out of this one unscathed.
Jimmy's still going to cross the bridge so he can go to Joe's Steaks or whatever it's called.
Yeah. These South Jersey people. Nah, I'm not going to say it. I was going to go in on them.
Be nice. Oh yeah, that's what it looks like.
There he is.
Go back in the article. So they, no, go a bit further back. So yeah, they kind of show. Yeah, so I don't know if that's like a back entrance or something, but those are all the other restaurants in there.
Interesting. So they're having this little virtual thing going on, and maybe we'll have to take a drive down and try it out. But before we do, we're going to the American Dream Mall.
I know we have to do that before your daughter's born because I feel like we're never going to go after that.
Yeah.
It's coming up soon.
Yeah.
We could bring her with us.
Nah, that's an idea.
I think she'd love it.
Is she a big fan of Mr. Beast?
Well, whenever I play his videos, she bounces around. She starts kicking. So
They play Mr. Beast for her every single night. It's crazy.
I'm trying to indoctrinate
The
her.
kid, Mr. Beast is taking over the world, dude. It's scary. You already got Josh.
So the other day, I was trying to get the baby to move around, and I was playing different songs for her because they say you can play music and they hear it totally.
Yeah.
They can totally hear it. They can hear your voice. Like when I speak, she
so
starts
cool.
to like wiggle around a little bit. So
Wow.
I can't tell if she likes
She's
me
gonna
or
come out
hates
of the
me.
room and be like, "You're listening to the Garden State."
So I was saying to Shelb, I'm like, what are songs that the melody of is so fun and iconic that you don't have to know anything about music, but you'd love it? Because you have to think, she doesn't know music.
Yeah.
She has no
Insane.
concept of like music. So I'm going, what would be a song you guys would say that could be even a genre you're not crazy about, but you're like, that's a song that you would want to be one of the first songs that people hear?
Well, it was playing the other day in the airport, and I was dancing immediately. It was a song I just like everyone knows. I want to dance with somebody.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, it's like everyone knows that song.
You know what the first song that came to my mind was? I don't know why. It was Tiny Dancer. And then I went from Tiny Dancer to I think I did like
What's Tiny Dancer? Can you play it?
hold on. Are we gonna get a copyright strike? Can we
No,
close out
no,
the
we won't.
podcast with some Elton John?
We won't get. Just play that for a quick second. I want to hear it.
Let me see.
Jimmy, do you know that song?
Yeah.
I think I started with Tiny Dancer. I think that was the first song I ever played for my daughter.
Hold me closer.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
That's all you had to say, Jimmy. That's all.
I was like,
Hold me closer, Tiny
I feel
Dan.
like this is a song that you know nothing about music, and then I immediately went to. You want to hear the next one I did?
Sure.
And then I was like, maybe.
Yeah,
some
you need
ABBA.
more. Yeah, you need
Yeah.
more rhythm and like some.
So she didn't move much to Elton John, but ABBA got her moving a little bit.
oh, you
and then I was
yeah,
like,
sick.
a song that I would never listen to, but I'm like, what's the most hype song from my high school years that I could think of? That went straight to Avicii. I wasn't an Avicii fan, but she.
What about like Believe by Cher?
How does that song go?
Do you believe?
Oh.
Maybe. I feel like that's a Sandals commercial though.
Eh.
Maybe not. I don't
Did
know.
you try playing her the Garden State podcast?
No, I don't want to ruin her this young.
She's gonna be so embarrassed by you already.
I did play one more song. What was the last one?
Skrillex.
No, I played like a Pharrell song for her.
Oh,
Happy.
God.
Oh, my.
Din 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 din.
Yeah, I think because I was on like a playlist that might have been it. So
Name.
So what I learned was that music transcends all humanity. From the womb to the tomb, we all identify with these melodies.
I'm gonna put that on a shirt.
From the womb to the tomb.
Yeah.
Man, it was awesome. I mean, who doesn't like Tiny Dancer? Like you could be in line at ShopRite, that song comes on, and you're like,
That is a
you're
ShopRite
like-
song.
You're
Yeah.
like singing along with it. I was gonna put some Eagles on, but then I'm like, those are deep tracks, so we'll get there. But yeah, I don't know. What's the first song you'll play for your child when it can hear you in the womb? If you guys had to pick personally before we close out the pod.
Probably like any one of my old parodies from YouTube, so you can hear my
Really?
voice. Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know. That's hard.
No, I'm just kidding.
What's your guys?
Probably like a Michael Jackson song. I don't know.
Oh, really?
MJ has all the hits, dude.
What would
Thriller?
Thriller, dude.
Thriller. Wow. If there's one song we could put on a USB key to send to like another planet for them to
I think
to
they've
fully
done that.
understand the human experience.
I think they've done that, and I think it was the Beatles and Michael Jackson.
No, you got to send them something like dubstep. So they're like, "What in the world is this?"
What would you say? What is one song that sums up the entire human experience? The most.
Oh well, guys, I only know like American culture. You got to think about the rest of the world. Like, there's so many different.
But when it comes to music, outside of like Beethoven, I think you're talking American and UK musicians are going to kind of run things, don't you think?
All I
Yeah.
Want for Christmas by Mariah Carey.
No,
I think
was
we
gonna
could all
say-
agree.
I was going to say the most purchased song ever, White Christmas by Bing Crosby.
Let's send some Christmas jams. Yeah, they're popular. Everyone loves them. They're heard all around the world.
So, all right. Well, with that, thank you to everybody that's listened to this podcast this week. We are back every Friday with some more news. We hope you have an amazing week. Any closing thoughts before we say goodbye, boys?
Just thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast.
We'll see you next week.
Later.
Bye.
You're listening to the Garden State. The Dirty Jers.